leadership skills, leadership theory, and their association with emotional intelligence. Let's first look at leadership skills. When you think of a person who you consider to be an effective leader, what characteristics come to mind? An Inc. magazine article based on a study of 300,000 business leaders listed these leadership skills ranked by the most important. I believe that these are all characteristics that we look for in leadership today. However, I think that it's been an evolution to get to this list. Since there are dozens of leadership models and theories, I decided to create my own, and it begins with the great person theory. But for hundreds of years, if you were a great king, queen, emperor, empress, czar, or czarina, then you probably were associated with a great family. The thought here is that great leaders, male or female, come from great families. Families provide a person the foundation to gain access to money, wealth, influence, and respect. All of these are connected with different social and political networks. But history has shown that having an aristocratic bloodline alone does not guarantee political, social, or even business success. What if the descendants are incompetent, corrupt, or both? When it was recognized that people can become successful leaders without the support of a noble heritage, then the focus was on behaviors and traits. I think it first starts with who we define as effective leaders in politics, science, philosophy, business, and society. Studying these leaders, what are the behaviors or actions that they take or that they have in common? What traits or characteristics do these leaders display? Behavior theory suggests that effective leadership can be learned and developed through specific behaviors. Before World War II, societal norms and discriminatory practices limited the participation of women and people of color in many industries and roles. Most jobs, especially in manufacturing and skilled trades, were held by white men. That was about to change with World War II. Leaders cannot do it all by themselves. Great leaders know how to inspire and lead teams. The nationalism needed to win World War II contributed to the building of a diverse workforce. To get the best out of the workforce, it was the beginning of participative leadership. Participative leadership is also known as democratic leadership, since it involves actively seeking input from team members and considering their opinions in decision-making. You can see how this approach fosters collaboration, commitment, and a shared sense of responsibility within the team. And it's very different from the great man theory. Jumping ahead to the 1980s, this was the decade of process analysis, quality improvement, strong return on investment, and re-engineering the corporation. The whole effort was in response to Japan and Germany's success at dominating the automotive industry. Two of the most well-known business leaders in the 1980s were W. Edwards Deming, the father of statistical process control, and Jack Welch, the former CEO of GE. Neutron Jack was known for streamlining operations, cutting costs, and focusing on core businesses. Professionals sought to join organizations that prioritize social consciousness and impact over only enhancing shareholder value. During the 1990s, there was a high focus on a corporation's vision and mission. One objective was to help align their employees to common core values while creating impactful goals. These values tended to be customer-focused and results-driven. Perhaps the most studied visions in the 1990s were JFK's Man on the Moon speech and Martin Luther King's I Had a Dream speech. They were both transformational leaders who inspired and motivated people to share a vision of the future and fostered an environment of innovation and change. Their styles have inspired generations through their speeches and writings. Today's leadership theory is best described as inclusive, which is a summary of everything we've learned over the past 100 years. The goal is to create an inclusive work environment where everyone can contribute to their fullest potential, fostering creativity and collaboration. The characteristics of an inclusive leader include empathy, which involves active listening, cultural competence to encourage diverse perspectives, and fairness and equity so that opportunities, resources, and recognition are distributed fairly. Inclusive environments are built by emotionally intelligent leaders. Now, looking at these leadership theories, you can appreciate the dangers of a leader who, with a fixed mindset, embraces an autocratic style, even knowing that people's expectations have evolved and they thrive in an inclusive environment. So looking at these leadership theories, we can appreciate their evolution over the decades. One of the two factors that have influenced leadership theory has been the expanded application of emotional intelligence skills. These emotional intelligence skills weren't needed 100 years ago. The other factor contributing to change has been access to information, power, and opportunity. Both of these areas have increased over time. In the next section, we'll take a look at the relationship between the IQ and EQ